Hello there, I'm a Challenger League coach and I want to talk about this mathematically better Trinity Force build on Graves. So, why is it better? Now, most of you guys, as I noticed, if I type Graves, right, I look through the statistic more than often we will see that Graves players do actually go for Yoummus Ghostblade and sometimes they get Duskblade, right? Now, I want to talk about Trinity Force. So, here are the things I've written down everything right, and I even calculated it through ChatGPT, of course. So here is the damage difference in a all-in at level 9 with these runes, right, with no PTA, no coup de grace proc, right. Your general all-in gonna be something like this, right? So every ability got separately damage tested, so I don't somehow proc coup de grace or PTA, right? So no damage boosters were added to any of the abilities, right? uh, which means that in a full combo, right, Yoummus Ghostblade does 174 more damage, right, compared to Trinity Force if Trinity is stacked. Now, if Trinity Force is not stacked, then of course this item Yoummus has 194 more burst damage, right? Now, one important thing to point out, the interesting thing about Trinity Force that one single proc from Trinity Force does 190 damage, right? And you're gonna get multiple of these procs, right? Plus it provides attack speed for DPS, some health which helps you to survive burst, cooldown. That's definitely fine to have some on Graves, right? And generally speaking, it's a better item at getting objectives down, such as the Drake, destroying towers, right? And it's generally also better DPS wise, right? So having mobility in combat is also decent, right? So the upside of Youmu's Ghostblade is really that your Q pokes are a little bit better, right? Maybe your ultimate still a little more damage in some case, right? But here's the thing. Oh, one important thing I forgot, of course, to mention that this time we had 40 MR, 40 magic resist, 1k HP because I wanted to favor your Youmu's Ghostblade, of course. And one thing to point out that Youmu's Ghostblade is a bit better at gap closing than Trinity Force. So if you really need that extra gap closing power, of course you can go for Youmu's Ghostblade. But otherwise, DPS wise, Trinity will be always better. And generally speaking, if you can get like two of these like Trinity Force procs, you're always gonna out damage actually the other item, of course, Youmu's Ghostblade, because if I stack it up, it does even more damage than 190. It has 228, right? Which generally means that it's gonna deal a lots of damage. Now, from the other hand, how should you even continue this build? So if you feel like you can carry the game, you can definitely get the Collector. Now, from the other hand, you could also get Lord Dominic's Black Cleaver, depending on the game, if you value having some extra HP, or perhaps you have a Misfortune or Jinx in your team that value a lot. You penning their armor, of course, really depends on the game. Um, it depends really on the game. Now, in here you can get Lord Dominic's, as I said, it's different from game to game. And now as your third item, you can choose in between many options, depending what do you value. In some very rare scenarios, you can get QSS as well. From the other hand, what you should aim to go for is often Bloodthirster, right? But you can also combine these two items together, Lord Dominic's and Collector, which can be definitely fine. Usually as you get your fourth item, you should get Bloodthirster, of course, not by mobility boots. It just brought it in practice tool. Generally, your three boots options are Merc Threads, Plated Seal Caps, and Swiftness boots, in my own opinion. Now, there is the DPS choice, which I went for in some games, but not really recommended by me, honestly. Um, and as your finisher item, it really depends on the game, honestly. Uh, if you reach this point of the game, pretty much what you can do is just like often you want to get a defensive item, but you can also like just get another crit item. It varies, right? Like it really depends on the game. You can even get a shield bow if you really feel like this is more so like a next patch thing, because next patch shield bow will be a bit more decent. It really depends on what do you value in the moment, right? So even in some very rare games, you could get this item, Rapid Fire Cannon Ultra. It's not very Graves recommended because what it does on Graves said it spreads a little bit the pellets, which means that you don't get actually the best value out of this Rapid Fire Cannon, right? But often what you can also do is just like step slightly inner, and then it does spread. Uh-huh. It still does spread. That's the only issue with it. So as a finisher item, you can just get pretty much any of these. Essence is not an option because you already have Trinity Force, but sometimes I do go for it. Or you can also get Black Cleaver for your team. Again, Storm Laser can be totally fine in the late game because it has a high AD scaling, 60 percentage, right? So which allows you to get some extra mobility, which is definitely Graves to have get good on to have on Graves, right? Uh, while also like the Trinity Force damage further enhances the damage from Storm Laser, of course, right? The same way as the bonus damage from Bloodthirster enhances the damage for Storm Laser. So generally you're gonna have like something like how much 280 damage from it. But these kills generally hurt a lot, right? And now just to be clear, I tried this build out, right? In some normal games, it felt to be quite good. Now it's a high game MMR game, right? So these were generally high game MMR games, high or mid MMR. I'm not even sure what to tell you guys. In most of the games, it felt to be quite great actually. Uh, I tried I tried it on this account out, of course. I tried it out on my other account. So it's called GLSDSD. GLSDSDS. So I tried it out on this account. Of course, these were normal games, but you can also just like try out the item yourself and say your own opinion about it. But from my personal opinion, it's just better than other options, especially next patch because Gale Force is nerfed. So I would highly advise you guys to actually go for Trinity Force over anything else. That's it from now. Have a nice day.